Hello and welcome. This is Jasur from JRN Firm, and as you can see in this video, I would like to discuss some differences between FTZ company and regular company in China. If you're thinking of investing in China, starting a business, and you don't know where to register your company, specifically in a free trade zone or just in the city, then this video is going to be for you. We're going to touch very basic differences, obviously, but of course, later on, if you have any other questions, you can get in touch with us. If you have any specific, situation, we will be glad to assist you. Now, before we go ahead, please make sure you check our website for our services, and this is our email, and this is our mobile phone number, which is also the same number for Telegram, WhatsApp, and WeChat. You can get in touch with us. So let's start. FTZ company in China. Now, we have been receiving a lot of questions from our viewers on YouTube and also our existing clients uh, asking what is the difference between a regular company that we can register inside any city in China and also FTZ company. In Dubai, for example, let's just give background information. In Dubai, for example, you have a lot of FTZs, right? Free trade zones, and they are directed and they are specializing in different areas. For example, IT, mobile phones, import and export, computers, etc., etc. There's when I visited Dubai, I visited different FTZs, right? And based on the business atmosphere, based on the business, your business plans, you can choose where to register. But in China, this situation is slightly different. For example, we are located in Shanghai. In Shanghai, there are a few FTZs, not so many. For example, in Dubai, you have more than 30 FTZs, right? But in Shanghai, there are only a few. And also, the differences between Dubai and Shanghai, generally speaking, in China, they are quite different as well. Like there are many differences. Uh, let's start talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages when you register your company in Chinese FTZ. Okay, so first of all, generally it's near the port. Okay, it's far away from the city, far away from hustle and bustle of the city life, and it's around 4 hours away from the city center. Of course, Shanghai being a very developed city, it connects those FTZs with the public transport as well. Metro, subway, it goes to any part of Shanghai, including those FTZs. But like I said, generally it's 3 to 4 hours away from the city. This duration is actually 4 hours is in public transport, but even if you drive, it's going to be minimum 2.5, 3 hours away from the city, and that's usually near the port. Okay, Shanghai port is one of the busiest ports in the world. That's no secret. You can Google it and you can get more information about it. And second thing is import tax is not paid until sold in the country. This is, I think, when we talk about FTZs in China, this is the main advantage. And also that is true in many parts of the world, including Dubai. So same thing. In China, when you register your company in FTZ, imagine you are importing some sort of products and you can store them in the FTZ. If you have a warehouse there, you can rent or you can buy a warehouse. Once the product is imported and stored, you're not required to pay any import duties or any taxes in China, because FTZ is free trade zone first of all, and it's got special advantages, special policies that allows you to store your goods until they are sold in the mainland China. Okay, once they are sold, only then you have to pay those import duties and import taxes basically. generally speaking, that importing process begins when you start selling inside the country. So this is really, really good for special types of companies, special businesses, and also special products. So for example, this FTZ is going to be a really good location for assembling, manufacturing, repackaging, selling cross-border items, special products. Now, I would like to, pause and talk about these, elements one by one. For example, assembling, right? You are Imagine you are producing some sort of special product. Let's say TV sets. Okay, so you buy a lot of elements of the TV or the screen or monitor from different factories in China, be it from India, be it from Taiwan, etc., etc. So you are gathering all of those elements, spare parts, and then you are assembling them, putting them together, and creating a new product in the FTZ. And during that process, you're not really paying any taxes. Okay, and this is really good advantage. And second thing is manufacturing. Obviously, you can do any type of manufacturing, the same thing, just like assembling. You're not required to pay any taxes there until you sold them. Okay, until you start selling the products in the country, which is in China. Or you can just go ahead and export those products outside of China somewhere. Like, basically speaking, FTZ, by their policy, by their management, it's generally speaking they don't obey the central government laws, but still they are part of China. It's near the port of Shanghai. It is in China, but still, legally speaking, your product's kind of outside the country. That's what I'm referring to. So when you sell the products in China, then which is outside of FTZ by law, so then you are required to pay those taxes and start the importing process. But you can, like I said, you can also sell or export those products without any paying taxes. You can export them to any other countries. Okay, repackaging. Repackaging is also a good business to register in FTZ. Imagine you have different orders from different brands outside of the country, and they have different requirements for packaging. So you can gather all those products in FTZ warehouse, and then you can employ your staff there, let them repackage and export the items. Selling cross-border items, which is also becoming very, very famous among foreign brands. They they have their warehouse, for example, in FTZ, and they bring all the products in that warehouse, and they store them. Okay, they are all foreign brands. For example, let's say you are selling some sort of fitness uh, supplements. Okay, let's say proteins or protein powders or some kind of protein bars, etc., etc., right? So you can store them here in Chinese FTZ, and you're not required to pay any import duty, import taxes like we discussed. And then you can open your store on one of the Chinese e-commerce platforms, for example, Tmall, Taobao, or even AliExpress, etc., etc. AliExpress is global. Okay, so you can, through AliExpress, you can sell globally. All right, but your goods are stored here in China. Tmall allows you to sell inside China as well. You can open a store on Tmall with your foreign company, but your goods will be in China. That is a huge advantage in terms of delivery, in terms of shipping, because even though your products are stored in FTZ in China, they are sold cross-border. Okay, let's go back to this fitness products, for example, because the protein powders and protein bars, they have expiration date. Okay, and they are also like food products. So you, instead of having them outside of the country, like literally physically outside of the country, if more for example in the US or in UK, it's better to store them in Chinese FTZ so that it doesn't take long to ship these products to Chinese consumers. For example, a consumer from Shanghai buys your product through Tmall cross-border platform, and then you can literally ship those products from FTZ in a matter of days. It's like 1 day even. Okay, they buy it today, and tomorrow you can deliver them. That is very, very important advantage. And special products. The special products, actually, this is the case we came across uh, like firsthand, because one of our clients, he sells flowers. Okay, he imports flowers from Ecuador, and Ecuador is very famous for flower exporting, and they store their products in FTZ in Shanghai. So as you know, flowers are very fragile, very sensitive products. So it makes a really it makes sense, and it's really important for them to store the products nearby the consumers. So that's why they decide to open a company in FTZ and rent a warehouse. So they store all the flowers coming from Ecuador in Chinese and Shanghai FTZ, so that anybody who buys their flowers, they can easily ship them from China, okay, from Chinese FTZ, and it doesn't take them to deliver all these flowers to the consumers. It's like literally days, 1 or 2 days. And next, this is probably disadvantage, because to register a company in FTZ, usually it's slightly expensive compared to regular companies. And office and bank accounts should be inside the FTZ. This is also probably a disadvantage, because main office of the company and main bank account of the company should be inside the FTZ, which we discussed here in the first element. FTZ is very far from the city. So it means that if you want to maintain an office and you need to open a bank account, obviously, so that is like it's not going to be inside the city, and it creates more or less a little bit disadvantage there, more or less like extra work for your staff, because sometimes banks require in China to go to the banks in person, okay, to deal with some of the paperwork. So in that sense, your staff or yourself, even as a director, you need to actually go to the bank 4 hours away from the city, and that kind of can be time consuming. All right. Now, let's talk about regular company in China. We discussed this, okay, advantages and disadvantages extensively in our different videos, but still, here we go. These are the main ones. A regular company can be in the city, in any city of China. It's literally, you can, choose the district where you want to register. In Shanghai, for example, so many districts, you can literally choose any district you want to register, and it can be even in the heart of the city. Office and bank account are also in the city. Usually this is they both of them should be and maintained in the district where your company is registered. For example, let's say in Shanghai you register your company in Pudong district, right? So your main office and bank account should also be in that district. Better location, obviously, because FTZ is near the city, and obviously it's far away from the main activities, what's happening in the city, or some of the important like amenities, let's say like restaurants or cafes or shopping malls, etc., etc. FTZ doesn't have them, in most cases. It's far away place, but regular company, obviously, because of you can choose the location yourself, the districts, obviously it's a better location, and good for trading. Regular company is good for trading, consulting, and other non-manufacturing companies, okay, because we already said that manufacturing company better to register in FTZ because it requires space. It requires some advantages in terms of taxing, okay, in terms of taxation. So FTZ offers you all those advantages, but regular company, it's better avoid registering a manufacturing company as a regular company inside the city. And obviously, regular companies is one of the advantages, cheaper to register and maintain. Obviously, because like we discussed, inside the city there are different regions, different districts, and you can choose, okay, where to register, and generally speaking it is cheaper and also maintain, okay. um, and import taxes paid, this is one of the disadvantages maybe. If you use your regular company and import some products into China, you want to sell them to Chinese consumers. Let's say, go back to the same example as we used for in the case of FTZ. Let's say you are selling some um, sports, supplements. Let's say, protein powders or something like that. When you are importing these products, you are required to pay import taxes and duties immediately. Okay, it's not like in the case of FTZ where you import and store them in the warehouse, and then you avoid paying anything until they are sold in the city. No, in the country. But in regular company, you are required to pay import taxes, duties immediately, which can be a little bit disadvantageous, but still, if you have regular clients who are buying them, then it doesn't really make sense because, of course, unless the products are sensitive products, like in the case of flowers, maybe. But in my opinion, you are paying import taxes anyway. In the case of FTZ, it's a little bit delayed, uh, like we said, until they are sold. Okay, you're not required to pay. Maybe it makes sense if you want to, ship the products elsewhere. Okay, later on, maybe you want to send them back to your original warehouse in your country, etc., etc. In that aspect, maybe it makes sense. But still, when you are selling inside the country, okay, either from FTZ or from regular company, you are still paying import taxes and duties, okay, when they are sold to the local clients. So generally speaking, regular company offers these advantages and disadvantages, and FTZ offers disadvantages and disadvantages. But to summarize, my personal opinion is you need to ask these questions yourself, okay, to yourself and to your teammates. Are we really going to need to register our company in FTZ? The most important part is, what kind of business are you going to do? Is it assembling? Is it manufacturing? Is it repackaging or selling cross-border items? Or do you have some sort of special products like flowers, for example, or some sort of other food and beverage products? If no, because most of the people who are contacting us, they are registering their companies in China for exporting purposes only. Okay, buying from Chinese manufacturers, buying from Chinese wholesale markets here, and they are planning to export those products to their country or to other countries. So if that's the case, you are better off registering a company as a regular company inside the city, because it's much cheaper, better location, easier to maintain, and you can choose, where to register. But that creates a better location. And of course, if you want to relocate to China, then you will be living in a better condition with better amenities. Okay, you will be in the city. You will have all these restaurants, schools. If you have a family, then I definitely recommend registering a regular company so that your kids can go to school in the city. Because in the case of FTZ, your company, your staff, your bank account, your office, everything should be located inside the FTZ, which is really, really far away. Okay. So also, if your company is regular trading, import and export, and mainly buying from China and exporting outside China, then regular company makes sense. If it's consulting, even better, like regular company, because most of the 99 and 9% of the time, consulting companies never ever go to FTZ companies. Usually FTZ companies is generally, broadly speaking, they are for manufacturing and assembling, etc. And other non-manufacturing companies like restaurant, cafe, gym, etc., etc. Other types of, like a bakery, You want to register a company, choose a regular company in China because you want to be closer to people, closer to potential clients, right? Most people live here. I personally visited those FTZs in Shanghai, and when you go there, all you see is bunch of factories, manufacturing places, and lakes and stuff like that. Okay, and of course it's a port. So what I'm saying is there's not much, population. There's not like houses and buildings, apartments, and maybe there are some, but they're not many. Okay, so what you want to focus as a regular company, those potential clients, you want to be physically closer to them. Okay, so these are the some aspects you need to consider, guys. Instead of like asking all these general questions to consulting companies like us, I recommend asking these questions to yourself, and then discuss all these advantages and disadvantages with your teammates. And then based on your true answers, you can make a decision. And then, after all this discussion, you can easily find the answer whether a regular company is good for you or an FTZ company good for you. Of course, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have a specific situation, you're welcome to contact us anytime. Okay, like we discussed, our company offers company registration, restructuring. Like, imagine you register your company in China, you want to restructure it. We can help you with that, like changing shareholder, changing personnel, changing the legal representative, director, etc. We can do that. And of course, once you decide to shut down your company, liquidate it, we can also take care of the paperwork. And this service is in China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and other countries. Other countries, I just put it in short because, based on your requirements and like situation, we can serve you in different other countries. You can just tell us. Corporate bank account opening, obviously, in all the countries we operate in. Contracts mainly in English and Chinese. We have licensed lawyers in Shanghai. And dispute resolution in China. If you are cheated by any factory or any local company in China and you are in dispute with them, we can help you with that. Like I said, we have licensed lawyers, Chinese licensed lawyers in Shanghai. They can take care of the paperwork and legal proceedings. And general and special licenses in China for your Chinese company. Let's say you want to, additional to your general license, you want to apply for some special license, food and beverage, chemicals license, etc., etc. We can help you with that. Intercompany transfer, for example, your US company opens a branch office or subsidiary office in China, and you want to send your stuff to China, relocate them, your personnel to China, to Chinese office. We can take care of the process A to Z. But once again, guys, this last service is for companies only. Okay, that's why intercompany transfer. It's not for individual clients. We don't offer relocation services to individual clients, like people who want to register their company in China and then they want to apply for visa, etc., and they want us to help. Usually, I openly say in our videos that we don't deal with individual visas. Okay, but if it's a company, then we can assist you with the process. Contact us. We will be glad to hear from you. So once again, guys, JR and Firm, our company in Shanghai is called Shanghai Silk Road, and this is our website. You can go ahead and get to know our services, familiarize yourself, and this is our email address, and this is the phone number which is linked to WeChat, Telegram, and WhatsApp. Welcome to contact with any questions you might have. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next videos.